somebody might be asking, why are you making a video about this specific thing? Especially when you're just kind of regurgitating a lot of information from this one video, or these few videos. I should actually correct myself. And the honest truth is because this situation bothered me so fucking much that I had to take a step back and think and process why I was so upset. I didn't understand why I got so upset over this situation. And I realized Butch Hartman made such iconic shows that I watched my entire childhood, shows that influenced my writing and my stories and my characters. Through a big portion of my adolescence, I wanted to be like Butch Hartman. I wanted to make cartoons. I wanted to entertain people. I wanted to make characters people would love. And stories people would love. And yes, it wasn't just Butch Hartman. It was like the creator of After the Last Airbender, Dragon Ball. I was a huge fucking weeb in 5th grade. And I think that's the reason it struck so hard me, because there's so much shit going on, especially in Hollywood. There's so many, like, looked up to celebrities that have turned out to be pedophiles or rapists or, like, these terrible, shitty people. And in retrospect, what Butch Hartman did was not as extreme as these people and these actors and actresses in Hollywood. But it's just my personal connection to this man that really, really hurt me. And honestly, this video is just me trying to spit everything out there and process it better so that I can get over this. Not because I want views. This might even not fucking go up. I don't know. And when this first kind of started floating around, I really, really, really wanted not to believe it. I avoided it for a while. I neglected looking at it because I did not want to be like that. Now, also I have a bad habit of kind of jumping on like the hate hype train and like not really doing research, and then but hating something or hating a person because of one specific thing and kind of blowing it out of proportion along with other internet users. And I really did not want to do that in this situation. But all this anger is very justified. For any of you who don't know what I'm talking about, well, first off, Butch Hartman is a very famous cartoon writer, cartoon storyboarder. He made shows like Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, Tough Puppy, a bunch of shows. Honestly, a lot of his work kind of gave this generation, my generation, millennial, Gen X, or whatever, that early 2000s kind of kids, like, our sense of humor. Anyways, Butch Hartman did a couple talks and was hyping up this streaming service similar to Netflix and Hulu. Now, some of you might be like, oh, what's the big deal? It's just another one of those one of those streaming services, like, we don't even need another one. But this one specifically is focused towards kids. It's focused towards adolescents. It's going to be PG content for kids. Because in his rationale, on Netflix and Hulu and all these other places, kids can easily kind of get out of that account and then go watch very inappropriate things. It's like there is, like, I guess, porn on Netflix and very violent movies and shows on these streaming services. And in that aspect, he isn't wrong. Like, yeah, kids can be exposed to these very hypersexualized and hyper-violent shows, which, yes, that is not good for kids. Might explain a lot about me, oddly enough, but I digress. The next thing was that he kind of went on this tangent and was like, cartoons were better back in my day. Which I'm not angry at him for it, because, everyone has those moments where it's like, why can't things be like how they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was a kid, or whatever. And sometimes things were better back then. But at the same time, getting caught up in that kind of nostalgia and kind of hating the present is very, very toxic, especially to people and kids born in this present and are very much kind of experience their childhood in this present. Kind of discredits a lot of those kids' experiences and some of my own experiences. And then he kind of went off again, and he was talking about how his shows molded this generation, and he's not necessarily wrong. And it was more just like, oh, he kind of sounds really narcissistic and kind of like an asshole. Which, I mean, isn't grounds to hate this guy at all. I mean, everyone is narcissistic, especially everyone has a level of narcissism. That is just a fact about today's society and just human beings in all history and all nature. But then he goes off again and he's like, but I'm humble, and I'm like, you just called yourself like a god, so no, you're now kind of like lying, which, like I said, is not grounds to hate him, but at this point, I'm very on the fence about how I feel about him. And then comes out the truth about the streaming service. This kid-friendly streaming service was actually supposed to be a Christian streaming service, which does not sound bad when you think about it. There are a lot of people who do want that kind of education, kind of like environment for the kids to grow in, and there's nothing wrong with wanting a Christian environment and Christian shows to like imply those morals on children, but he did not tell anybody, or at least he did not tell the public, that this streaming service was specifically Christian. He got money from people who thought the streaming service was just for cartoons and appropriate shows for kids. He stole money from people who did not support a service like that. It bothers me so much because he manipulated so many people, and he did focus. He got so much money for this because of who he was, because of who he is, because he's very famous, because he's just tycoon and cartoons and children's entertainment. And he used kind of that trust and that foundation to lie to people like me who would have not supported a Christian streaming service like that. It's the same thing as me saying I want to do an educational streaming service for kids. I want to make sure that it focuses on science and math and intelligence and like problem solving skills, and then I turn around and go, also I want to make sure that it instills atheist values in children. That's fucked, okay? That's fucked. And then it gets fucking worse. Worse. He somehow goes off on another fucking tangent about how teen suicide is completely today's society's problem and effect, and like I said, it's that dangerous nostalgia for the past. Yes, suicide in teens and younger people is more prevalent in this time, but it's to say that it's because a kid watched Die Hard or some shit is bullshit. He completely discredited all these other problems, all these other underlying causes that a lot of his generation did cause. Like the fucked up economy, like this insane capitalistic environment and very competitive and bloodthirsty society of America that I and we and a lot, well not we because I don't know, anyways, a lot of people live in. Okay, I don't want to say he made capitalism, that's not what I meant. I meant a lot of the world's problems that we are dealing with around vacations today is because of people, of older people, not because of young people like myself. I'm not saying that we are not to blame at all. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying a lot of these core problems are because older people caused them. And then he goes back to the Christian themes and spouting bullshit about how all of his shows are very like strong Christian world. That's fucking bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Have you watched Fairly Odd Parents? It's literally about magic beings It's literally like what Christians aren't supposed to watch. It's based on magic. And like Danny Phantom, the main fucking villains are dead kids. They're fucking dead children. If you look through it, like, they've had terrible deaths. Like, I don't know her name. I can't remember this character's name. The rock star chick, I'm assuming is more like 17, 18, very young. I believe it's implied that she overdosed. And there's, I don't remember this character's name either. It was like, it's the 1950s, it's kind of very nerdy, but he's a ghost. It's implied that this certain character probably commits suicide. And it's very, like, subliminal, and, like, you really have to look through it and you really kind of analyze it. But, like, you know the intention was there. You know Butch Hartman wrote this knowing that these kids died from these certain things. I know he didn't bring it up in the show, but anyone with any kind of like critical thinking could figure that out. I figured that out when I was a kid. And this is when I kind of look back on other things he did and things I kind of brushed off, kind of like homophobic or transphobic jokes in his shows. I kind of chopped up to, it was the early 2000s. That was way more accepted. It was the norm. He couldn't really be pro-LGBT. But then I think about all of the people that have asked him and suggested that maybe some of his characters are LGBT, and he has shut them down. Now, I would understand if these people were like crazy-ass fangirls and like just wanted to like get in a shipping war or whatever the fuck. But no, these are people that grew up with these cartoons, that grew up with these characters, and that connected with these characters, and that saw something in these characters that made them not feel so alone, and they implied that they saw Danny Phantom as trans, they saw Tina Turner as gay, they saw these characters as very similar to their own identity. And for him to look in the eyes of kids and young adults that you know got shit for their identity, who found solace in his characters, to look them in the eye and say you're fucking wrong, and don't even like insinuate that some of my characters are gay or trans or anything in between, it's heartbreaking. Because why I write is exactly that reason. I write because I do not want people to feel alone. I write these different characters because I want someone to look at them and be like, that is me. I don't know anyone else that has gone through that. This character is me. And yes, I do write characters with specific sexualities, backstories, specific racial heritages in mind. But if anyone were to come up to me and say, let's say, one of my characters I kind of labeled as asexual, come up and say, I saw this character as lesbian, I connected with her, and what else? I would never discredit that person. I would never do that to someone. Even if it wasn't, even if it was like, oh, I just kind of saw them more as trans, or I just saw them more as Hispanic, like, that's why I write. That's fuck Butch Hartman. Fuck him.